What is the most shocking movie of all time? That feels like a loaded question with so much going into what makes something shocking and what is everyone's personal limits for insanity. Using 2018's The House That Jack Built as an example, that film depicts heinous acts of violence with sexuality and nihilism sprinkled throughout the runtime. The film caused massed walkouts during its film festival debut and pissed off critics and conservative filmgoers alike. That is the exact type of buzz a film needs to find to make its way onto this list. A movie should test its viewers in many ways, crossing genre lines to explore your cinematic limitations. You won't see anything like 50 Shades, Hostel, or even Human Centipede on this list. I traversed through the strangest selections of films, also looking into pieces that were banned in most countries to complete this list. This collection of movies and their brief descriptions should be enough to shock you so much that you'll never want to watch these disgusting pieces of cinema. For the faint of heart, I am your filth conduit. Allow me to venture into this for you. And for the more desensitized listeners, use this as a way to expand your selections of the must-see shocking movies. Number 10. Pink Flamingos. If John Waters' Pink Flamingos comes in at number 10 on the list, you know the movies are going to get strange. The film proclaims to be an exercise in poor taste, and it feels like you're watching the most unusual documentaries about drag queens and murder. Director John Waters and his crew went for realism, though they never forgot to have fun along the way, which makes this a shocking movie but easier to digest than some of the other movies on the list. Look, the plot of the movie alone is enough to place it on this list. Two groups, one of them featuring the iconic Divine, are battling it for the filthiest person alive. No matter who wins, we lose. Number 9. The August Underground Film Series. With this grotesque film series, it's hard to include just one entry here. Each movie in the August Underground series is more depraved than the other one. Even placing this franchise on the list is hard, as they feel like documentaries way more than they do films. While others on this list are giving you more of a movie experience, August Underground strives for reality. Out of any of the movies on this list, I recommend this one the least, as it bothers me more than any other entry. Something about the realistic gore and low-budget filmmaking gets under my skin. Number 8. NEKROMANTIK. NEKROMANTIK is one of the most banned movies of all time. The ban include countries like Iceland, Norway, Malaysia, Singapore, and the provinces of Nova Scotia and Ontario in Canada. Once you see the movie though, the banning makes sense, as this is one of the most shocking and filthiest of all time. Necrophilia is such a casual conversation through NEKROMANTIK that you start to question who would even come up with this. Thankfully, German filmmakers have the nerve to cross every line imaginable. Number 7. Martyrs. If you're looking for one of the bleakest films of all time, Martyrs should place on your list. Two young women's quest for vengeance after being abused leads them down a path that you continuously want to avoid. It isn't until one of the women is systematically tortured in an attempt to make a martyr like Jesus Christ that you know this movie has gone too far. 2008's Martyrs pushes you mentally, draining you by the time the credits roll. It's not shocking that this new French extremity masterpiece took so much heat from the French film board. Number 6. Come and See. War films by their nature are intense and bleak, but none feel as depressing and shocking as Come and See. This 1985 Soviet drama drains you with its brutal and real depiction of World War II. Think of the saddest moments in Schindler's List mixed with the intro of Saving Private Ryan, and you won't even get to touch the weirdness and craziness of this movie. But just like those films, the brutal war aspect makes Come and See a hailed classic in many regards. It actually might be the most esteemed entry on this list, as the filmmakers even tried to get it nominated for the Academy Awards. Not shockingly though, it never made it to the award show. Number 5. Antichrist. Lars von Trier makes movies that are perfect for a list of shocking films. If it's the 5-hour sex epic Nymphomaniac or the previously mentioned The House That Jack Built, the director knows the art of shock and awe. Antichrist has some beautiful filmmaking, like most of his work, but the film's depiction of sex, violence, and grief will shake you to your core. The production reportedly took place during the darkest point of Lars von Trier's life. You can feel it as the piece is brutal with no sign of happiness. Also, it includes body mutilation, so there's that. Number 4. Irreversible. Each of Gaspar Noé's 5 films could place here. Every last one of them is shocking, disturbing, and a real challenge to watch, but Irreversible is his magnum opus. This 2003 film is probably one of the most nihilistic of all time, with Noé's I Stand Alone coming in a close second, and you feel the hate from humanity in every scene of Irreversible. It doesn't help that there is an extended sexual assault scene, which is followed by even more brutal violence. Yeah, you're gonna need a shower after watching Irreversible. Number 3. Cannibal Holocaust. For horror fans, Cannibal Holocaust is a rite of passage for many viewers. Not only did this pioneer the found footage genre, but it's also a gateway drug for people looking to explore more transgressive films. For decades, the treatment and legend of Cannibal Holocaust made it almost feel like an urban legend. Real violence, real criminal investigation, and some really messed up moments. Either you seek this movie or avoid it like the plague. Fun fact about Cannibal Holocaust, Flickering Myth editor-in-chief Gary Collinson credits this as his most shocking film of all time. Yeah, you know it's bad. Number 2, SALO, or the 120 Days of Sodom. If something offends or shocks you, you'll find it in SALO. The source material, a 1785 novel, is painfully adapted with no taboo left untouched and every viewer finding something that upsets them. The plot centers around the systematic torture of teens by rich people that includes sexual violence, incest, and a gang of other things. A film like this to come out in 1975 that pulls no punches in regards to its offensive moments, that's almost as shocking as the movie itself. Number 1. A Serbian film. The current reigning shock king, a Serbian film, has quite the legend surrounding it. For many years, people treated this like a holy grail of poor taste. Hardcore film lovers would go to extreme lengths just to find an uncut copy of a Serbian film. This movie deals with more sexual violence than most of the movies combined on this list. Something about this film and how it pushes your limits you didn't even know existed, that deserves significant praise. Even if this movie is as vile as it is, it's quite the cinematic achievement and earns its spot as the most shocking movie of all time. Thank you so much for tuning into our video of the most shocking movies of all time. What movie shocks you the most? Is there a film that disturbs you to your core? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to Flickering Myth for videos like this every single week, and give us a thumbs up because YouTube takes those so seriously. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's talk about filthy movies in the comments below.